Did you know that fruit is the only food that actually has no negative karma attached to it? Why would that be the case? If you are truly a frugivore in the most ideal sense, then that means that the true fuel for your human organism is fruit. So why have we forgotten that? We are taxonomically defined as frugivores. And when we observe our ape friends, the chimpanzee, the orangutan, the gorilla, look how big a gorilla is. And are we worried about where the protein is? Are we worried about you should have these macros and these micros? These micronutrients? Are you worried about reaching your caloric intake for the day? Making sure you balance the proteins, carbohydrates, and fats? Are they worried about that? Who would we be if we weren't worried about that? And instead, observed we have a species-specific food that we have disregarded, and because we have disregarded it on all levels, we are suffering on all levels as a species because we do not understand the very principal truth that we are frugivores in denial. You see, denial is not just a river in Egypt, no matter how hard you believe it. And you don't want to be in denial with De-Nile Crocodile, because eventually, when you're in denial, what happens is the crocodile comes and eats you. And you the whole time were pretending the crocodile was not coming. We as a species are in denial of crocodile. And we have to dial in and realize that we are asleep as a species. We are asleep, and sleep is slip. And we have slipped on the banana peel, on the psychic banana peel, which is the equivalent of this matrix. They want you to slip on the psychic banana peel and fall into an abyss of delusion, illusion, confusion, distortion, contortion, you name it. This game promotes it. It wants you, its battery slave, full of acids, in poor health, not manifesting your true potential, not knowing what it means to manifest your true potential, not understanding that the question is the quest for the ion, that a Christian is a Christ ion, that the Buddha means he who knows, that the Hindu was called Sanatana Dharma, which means righteousness forever, that the shaman means he or she who knows. So what are we doing? Because we're not in gnosis, are we, as a species? We're in amnesia. I amnesia. We forgot the I am. And Christ said, before Abraham, I am. Who are we before all of this even happened? Before all illusions set in? Who are we before all the poisons were introduced? Who am I when I am free from the idea of myself, and when I have transcended the inner me, which is the enemy, the idea of myself that presents the greatest threat to my health and to the harmony of this beautiful creation we find ourselves in. We have committed the greatest sin, which is forgetting who we truly are. Everything else ensues from this. We've forgotten our species-specific food. We have forgotten what it's like to only sustain ourselves on the natural principles that govern true health. We do not observe nature to derive our truths about what is good health, about what we should eat. We listen to self-proclaimed experts who have agendas, whether they're aware of it or not, who are ultimately serving a beast system that wants to turn you into nothing more than a battery and have you going round the circus, performing the same rituals, the same traditions, and not fulfilling your true potential and realizing who you really are. The matrix is the sum total of all false perceptions. And the greatest false perception that plagues our species is not knowing that we are frugivores. anatomically. We do not have the anatomy of a carnivore. No matter how hard we try to diverge from frugivore and pretend we're carnivores, all the other carnivores are equipped to be carnivores. Whether it's an eagle with its talons, whether it's a tiger with its very sharp canines and strength of jaw and heat of digestion, whether it is a great white shark, whether it's a crocodile, right, in De-Nile River. We don't want to be swimming in De-Nile River, you see. But unfortunately, most of us among our species are in denial with De-Nile crocodile. And no matter how long you swim in De-Nile crocodile, he's coming along and you're on the menu. And when we put Mother Earth on the menu and we enslave her and kill her creatures and see them as food instead of to be loved and respected, and when we don't realize that we're supposed to reach up for the heavens and take our food off the trees primarily, that is the most ideal food for our organism, that is the fastest digesting, most healthy food we can eat, that if we do correctly, whilst flushing our body of all the waste, will bring us the greatest level of health that we can imagine. And that from good health, mind, body, and soul, that we will heal this world of all of the distortions that we find ourselves stuck in. Because our core has ruptured. Core ruption. Our core, the core truth, the core of who we are, the idea of ourself is coming from a ruptured core. It's coming from a heart that's been turned off. It's coming from a blocked throat chakra. It's coming from a third eye that's damaged and turned off. It's coming from our sensory awareness being hijacked and not being purified so that we actually can tune into the naked reality of what's really going on through our senses, with spirit as king and queen. So, we have forgotten the laws of spirit. We have forgotten the laws of physicality. We have forgotten all of it. We have I amnesia. And we suffer deeply because of this. And this is what feeds samsara and causes Sam and Sara to be stuck inside samsara. So how do we free samsara from samsara? Step 1, get the basics right. Stop trying to ascend through spiritual ego to great heights when we haven't even got the basics right first. We have to go through the elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. To get to ether, you cannot bypass the laws that govern the elements. We are dehydrated as a species. We do not hydrate our bodies. We are chronically diseased because of this. All diseases are born out of chronic dehydration because we poison our bodies and we overburden our bodies and we don't eat food that digests the way it should. And so we become encumbered. And when we become encumbered, there lies the false self. And encumbered doesn't just mean physical, also your spiritual digestive system, which is your conscience, which is encumbered with traumas, bitterness, hatred, you name it, addiction. And now we have this AI technology which presents one of the greatest threats to trapping the human soul in the idea of who it is in the form of an e-personality, in the form of Facebook and Instagram and all these fake entrepreneurs and life coaches, God bless you, that just are stuck in their trauma paradigm and are playing out a dissociative identity. Because to face the truth of who you really are beyond that is terrifying in the beginning, because we have to face our traumas. But our traumas create the drama. Drama and trauma are the same word. And the dramas we see outside come from the traumas we deny inside. And the traumas we deny inside are coming from the fact that we are not in alignment with what it truly means to be free from trauma, to no longer create more trauma for ourselves and our brothers and sisters and the species of this world. We came here to truly manifest heaven on earth. And here we are, addicted to the hells, because they give us temporary pleasures, but in exchange for long-term pains and sufferings and confusion. And what we think is pleasure is really just an illusion beyond comprehension. There are real pleasures we can enjoy in this world, but only if we're truly grounded in the laws of spirit and of our earthly mother. Then we are free to enjoy the pleasures in balance and in harmony, and they will not lead to disease and destruction. A mango that is juicy and ripe is a pleasurable experience that is a gift of the Most High. The sun shining above your head is a pleasurable experience, a joyous experience that is a gift from the Most High. But if you're truly going to experience it, you need to be clean and in tune. We need to be clean and in tune. And that's why we have to come back to natural law. That's why we have to stop destroying our health on all levels and making excuses and calling ourselves experts and putting something after the I am. Before Abraham, I am. Who are you before all of the illusions came into being? Who are you when you are free from all falsehood? Who are you beyond the thoughts, beyond the bitterness, beyond the hatred, beyond the distortion, beyond the trauma? Who are you? An infinite being of infinite potential. But if you're going to tap into that, then it's time we start paying attention, because that's the only thing that truly pays in this world. You're not taking your bank account with you in the afterlife. You're not taking your crypto with you into the afterlife. The true crypto is the crypto coin of the Christ coin in your soul. That's the measurement of who we are as human beings. That's what the Most High looks at. Love. How do you love? How do you do your best? Because, of course, forgive them, Father, they don't know what they do. Many of us are stuck in very false paradigms, in animal sacrificial rituals like I see here in Bali. Good-hearted souls, the women here, very humble and beautiful souls. But they eat meat and they don't know that they're taking part in satanic ritual sacrifice. So, it's obviously not just also about the food I'm saying here, is that it's our psychic digestive system that is bidirectional with our physical digestive system. But at the same time, you may be poisoned in some area of psyche and still be a good-hearted soul within your realm of awareness. You may be a raw vegan who's cleaned out their entire colon, but still doesn't know how to treat people with love and respect and share with people and be free from the bitterness and hatred of perhaps a experience that's stuck inside the conscience. But I guarantee, if you clean the physical, you're going to make it much easier to clean the spiritual as well. But it goes both ways. If we aim to clean all levels of our being and love and bring harmony, then we're going to arrive to the true place of who we are, beyond the suffering and delusion. Because the Hindu mystics say, to get to God we can only say neti neti, not this, not this. You remove everything you know to be illusion. Do your best to remove it from your field. Whether it's a false relationship, whether it's addictions, whether it's whatever it is, whether it's the need to let everyone know that you are the great Dalai Lama, yoga queen, yoga master. You got to give all that up. And the deeper you go down that game, the harder it is to get out. Because the most dangerous level of ego is spiritual ego. And when you believe you're very high spiritually, but you're not even meeting the basic laws and being humble and helping your fellow brother and sister truly and observing the real suffering going on around you and opening your heart to that, you're in big trouble. But we do it to ourselves, ultimately. Because all the evils we see in the world are the unresolved evils we project within ourselves. And imagine if most of the world's population is unaware of the evils within, then we project it unconsciously. And this creates a shadow government. How could a shadow government do what it does without an unresolved shadow of the masses? As above, so below. The microcosm is intimately connected to the macrocosm. So if we're going to end that and end the trance, then we have to start tuning into who we really are. And step one we're a frugivore body. We have a frugivore's body. Does that mean you can go frugivore overnight? I'm not saying that. But fruit sugar is the holiest food for the human body. So if anyone tells you otherwise, they're under delusion. When you mix fruit sugar with fats, then you start creating problem, and this is what most of us do. And this is why we've never really experienced the state that comes to you on a long-term fruit cleanse when you don't have fats, when you allow your body to become unencumbered and flush and flow, and you're eating fruits and herbs, and you're flowing and your organism is in alignment, then suddenly the things I'm saying now become music to the ears instead of, turn the video off. He's one of those. He's one of them. So I want to make a few things clear. Because many of us are scared of the things I'm talking about. And for good reason. Because if we have to face these things, we have to face ourselves and we have to come to terms with who we really are. And we're so stimulated in the stimulation for the simulation, that we haven't even spent a moment considering these things. We haven't even got the time, and I have compassion for you that you don't. I'm lucky that I have, in a sense. But if you are given that time to do so, then we have to use it wisely. And it's not about being serious. It's about being sincere and using the time we have for love, for expansion, for growth, and for cleansing and purification, so that we can become our greatest versions. And what cleansing and purification means for most of us is transitioning on a mucus-free lifestyle, where we cut out all the mucus foods, when we start to food combine correctly, when we stop eating when we don't need to eat, when we flush, when we fast, when we purify, when we juice cleanse, when we find the option that works best for us in our circumstances, and we do it wholeheartedly in a devoted way, we stay down to earth whilst we fly, then we're all going to start waking up to what's really going on in this world. When we free ourselves from the crazy addictions that plague us, only then, in that state of sobriety, can we hope to realize that, of course, there's a creator of this world, of this universe. But to truly feel it full time, we have to honor the laws that govern this universe, that govern our bodies. And so the more that we do that, the happier, healthier, and more joyous we're going to be. And that is what this message is. This message is saying, find out for yourself. I will share many resources. I've shared many resources. But find out for yourself. Excuse me. Find out for yourself what's really going on in this world. I've got a little bit of an allergy right now. My nose is running. Perhaps my lymphatic is draining, which is good. Find out for yourself. Be inspired by those who you feel in your heart and soul who are showing the truth, but never put anyone on a pedestal. Remember, the Christ within you is the only thing that should be pedestalized. This is what Yeshua truly taught. And do your best to eat as clean as you can. If you have access to organic fruits and you digest fruits good, then try an organic fruit mono meal with liquid cleanse. Or try a juice cleanse. Flush out all of that waste. Go as long as you can. And remember that who you are and who you think you are two completely separate phenomena. And the more we ignore the true truths of spirit and life that are always knocking on our door, the more we enter into the downward spiral and stay stuck in delusion and confusion. So I'm only sharing this message with the intention of love to help you, my brothers and sisters, come back to your greatest version and realize the I am of who you are. Because each and every one of us has an infinite potential, has a magic in us beyond reckoning. And imagine we all came together and shared that, instead of being stuck in false paradigms, in delusions. Because there are many incredible things in this universe, beyond our wildest imagination. And we have performed and achieved many great things among ourselves. It's not all doom and gloom. But most of it has been taken over, hijacked, and changed to be something harmful. Changed to be something that deludes us and traps us in false bullshit. Remember, belief systems are BS, yes? Bullshit. And most of us are operating from false belief systems, from programs. We've never experienced, once again, what it's like to be free from those programs. And it's not something that might leave us overnight. Although we may have moments of what they call satori, sudden awakening or sudden enlightenment or realizations. But if we're going to embody that in this physical temple, then we have to honor the laws of nature. Don't mix more than 3 types of food. Don't mix high starches with fats. Definitely don't mix your fruits with fats. Keep it simple. Keep it raw. Keep it full of light. Don't over-season your food. Salting the food preserves the food and makes it ferment in the body. And when we ferment, we foment. Foment means creating war, creating suffering, creating distortion, creating all kinds of problems for ourselves. Because we're literally fomenting. Because we're not an empty, clean, healthy body. As step one. Step one, that's the basics. If you have a glass and you fill it with water and you hit it, it doesn't make the same sound as when you empty it and dong. We're that. That's who we are. When you empty mind, body, soul, not empty as in you just become a vacant, apathetic zombie. Not that kind of empty. I'm talking empty as in clean, fresh, flowing, ready to adapt at any one moment to something brand new, and enjoying every moment for what it is. For Christ said, worry not for the morrow, the evil of today is sufficient. And the evil we are faced with right now is sufficient, I guarantee you that. And when you flush your colon, you will see that evil come out. When you go on a 90-day, 120-day, as long as you can go juice fast, and you do it correctly, you drink at least 4 litres a day, organic juices, and you're not scared of fruits and fruit sugar. But if you have trouble digesting fruit sugar, you transition correctly to get to the point where perhaps your pancreas needs regenerating, and your enzymes need increasing, your gut biome needs flushing out before you can come back to that place. But I guarantee you it's the ideal. And okay, perhaps if you're more elderly, you can't just rush to that ideal. Fruit is the highest vibration detoxifying food, and when you've got acids in your body and they're coming out, and trust me, most of us have kilograms of waste and acid stuck in us, this is a challenge. In fact, this is the greatest challenge presented to each and every single one of us right now. This is the greatest challenge. Facing our own health and waste and traumas, and admitting that each and every one of us is capable of evil, has done evil in this life most likely, and we've made mistakes. There's a continuum, there's degrees. Some things are far more difficult to overcome than others. But I guarantee you the only path back is repentance, a contrite heart, and a willingness to walk the path of righteousness the best we can depending on our circumstances. For one person, that path of righteousness might be a long water fast, a long juice cleanse. For another, it might be going on a plant-based diet where you keep the fats and oils low and you just eat a high-carb, low-fat plant-based diet and get flowing in that direction. It depends where you're at, what your circumstances are. But I guarantee you do your best. That's all that the Most High can ask of you. Do your best. We should all be striving to do our best. Because surely we want to be the best vibration we can be so that we can offer life on earth our greatest version, what we have to give. And when you are as clean as you can be, your talent within you is going to thrive. It's going to express itself fully. Your talents. God only knows what we're hiding inside us because of blockages, traumas, false beliefs, feeling unworthy, feeling like we're nothing more than just the programs that we've been enslaved with. But we enslave ourselves. We must see that the false self, the idea of ourself, is both the prisoner and the prison guard at the same time. And that we've created this fortress of thoughts, which is really what Yeshua was saying when casting the money changers from the temple are the parasites, are the false thoughts, are the distortions, the false beliefs. That is the money changers. They are the money changers in the temple, which is you. You are the living temple of the living God. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to be about it? That word scares us, God, a lot of us. Okay, it's hard to come to terms when we've got strong trauma that there's a creator of this universe that loves us, because we ask, well, why would I be, if there's a loving creator, why did I go through such suffering? Remember that we've lived many incarnations And we're all capable on this long continuum of consciousness going through all kinds of ages and eons of doing terrible things and being reincarnated into situations that perhaps are not so favourable, but that are there to teach us a lesson should we sober up and wake up. And forgiveness will bring you back to the I am. Only truly forgiveness and repentance and now walking the path of purity and freeing ourselves as best we can, doing our best, will bring us back to the I am. And when you truly realise the I am, you will realise the we are. We are. When you realise I am the kingdom, not the kingdom, the likeness of all within yourself, you'll realise that it's inside all your fellow brothers and sisters in Christ as well. And that all those fallen angel demon stuff that's walking around and parasites, well, they're still there to remind us that we're making key errors and that they've been invited here and that we have to come back to the path and that our aura needs strengthening and that we are attracting this for whatever reasons. And the only thing, as I say, is truly pays is to pay attention. Is to pay attention that we have a frugivore's body. Does it mean, once again, you go frugivore overnight, depending when you are? No, but we have a frugivore's body. At the very least, we should not be eating suffering and death and anything that the blood is shed where it can scream, where it has eyes and a mother just like you and I do. That's not food. Because we're gentle man and mankind. Do not turn your stomach into a graveyard for the sentient creatures. And yes, there are vegetables that we should do our best to minimize and stop eating. But it's a step in the right direction. And of course, as I say, the ideal is the fruits. But do your best to go close to that ideal as you can, given your situations. But giving up meat is essential, because the reason why there are vampires vampiring us is because we behave as vampires as a species. Hundreds of billions of animals every year killed in the most horrific circumstances, tortured their whole lives. And we wonder why karmically we experience things like coronavirus, carnivorous. It's all coming full circle. The chickens are coming home to roost. And what's next? Because are we waking up from this? Are we waking up to this? We were given time to wake up to this. We're still being given time. Judgment Day can come that no one knows when. And when I say Judgment Day, oh, he's one of those religious fundamentalists. No. Judgment Day is the return of the karma. It's the energy coming back. You get what you deserve. And we as a collective get what we deserve. We're all energy outputting. And that energy, if it's not in alignment with the laws of the Most High, will have to be answered for. Because this world is supposed to be heaven on earth. But we've turned it through distortion and projection of our false perceptions into something quite far from that. The apple has fallen quite far from the tree indeed, hasn't it? So let's put the apple back on the tree. We are a tree of life with a vagus nerve as the main branch. And what happens in Vegas shouldn't stay in Vegas. You see? It's all about ascending our energy instead of ending up in our arse. We need to be arse ending. Right? You can't get to Uranus if you stay stuck up Uranus. You know? Flamingo. So, excuse this allergic response. Sometimes I get a little bit of an allergy now and then, but also we have a lymphatic system. We have a lymphatic system. This is the way that the body